Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. So, today I wanted to get into a topic that seems to be on everybody's mind, and that is the NASCAR playoff system in general. I know that there are a lot of people that like the playoff system, and there are a lot of people that don't like the playoff system. Personally, I would prefer to see a regular season championship as opposed to the current playoff system that we have, but I don't think it's realistic to see that ever come back to us. So there are some things that I would like to see changed about the playoff system because I do believe the playoff system is here to stay. But I do believe there are things that could be changed to lend more legitimacy to the end of year champion. A couple things right off the top of my head I believe should be changed are winning your in should be looked at and adjusted. I'm not saying that a win shouldn't get you into the playoffs. I'm saying there should be a wider set of criteria that a driver needs to meet to make the playoffs. I'm not a fan of somebody in the 30th or below making the playoffs, and this isn't a dig at SVG or anything, and I'm actually going to talk about this a little bit more as we go on. Another thing that I would really like to see changed is I don't believe that a single race should decide the champion. I believe there needs to be a larger sample size to really determine who the best driver is. And I believe that there should be a variety of tracks in that final round. I believe it should be 3 races minimum. There should be an intermediate, there should be a short track, and there should be another track of another kind. I don't necessarily care which kind, probably not a super speedway though. So, that being said, I do believe that there are some benefits of the playoff system that I don't necessarily see discussed. Maybe they are being discussed and I'm just not seeing these particular conversations. But there's a couple points that I really wanted to touch on. So, the first one being winning you're in, because I do believe that there are some benefits of winning you're in that aren't necessarily being seen. For example, if we didn't have the current playoff format, I don't believe we would have seen SVG come to NASCAR. I don't believe that there would have been a full time position for him in this series, given the amount of time it's taking for him to adjust to the ovals. Now, you could say that's good, you could say that's bad. I believe it's good to have a driver like that come over to NASCAR full time. I do believe it's going to make the level of competition on the road courses stronger overall with time. Like, looking at Mexico, it's very clear that he was the class of the field and that the techniques that he was utilizing for road course racing isn't something that we see through the rest of the field as often. And I believe that just having him here is going to force drivers coming up through the ranks and the drivers that are currently on the grid to learn some of these techniques in order to be competitive on these kinds of tracks. This year we have 5 road courses in the regular season. We did see Christopher Bell win in COTA, and we saw William Byron, Kyle Busch be very competitive at COTA as well. But Mexico City, Ty Gibbs was competitive through most of the race, but once we got that long green flag run, there really wasn't anybody competitive with SVG. And I do believe that Ty Gibbs ultimately would have lost out to SVG even had he not been buried back into the field. That's honestly the big thing that I think we really get as a benefit out of the playoff system. This specialization. I think it's a benefit, and it has its issues as well. That takes me to the sub 30th place. Admission into the playoffs. That I have a problem with. I believe you need to be at least in the top 25 to make the playoffs. And to be completely honest, I would even like to see it go higher than that. Top 20, in my opinion, would be good. Now, that being said, I don't believe SVG is quite the same as Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton got a single super speedway win. I think SVG is going to be competitive on all of these road courses throughout the rest of the season. We'll probably see him move up in the points. Uh, I think there's also solid potential to see SVG improve on the ovals as well. He's pretty early into his oval career. He's now racing against the best oval racers on the planet, and I do look for him in the same way that his road racing is going to elevate the Cup guys on road courses. I believe racing among the Cup guys is going to elevate his oval skills. I'm not saying he's ever going to be a Kyle Larson, but I do believe he's going to be more competitive over time on these tracks. So, compared to like Harrison Burton, who just wasn't competitive in general. So, for me, in an ideal world, any changes that come to the playoff system will also keep these benefits that I believe the playoff system brings. We need to find some way to keep these very good road course racers because I do believe it will elevate the overall skill level of cup drivers on these kinds of tracks. So, what do you guys think? Do you like the playoff system? Do you want it to change? How would you like to see it change? Let me know, and thank you for watching. See you next time.